Hi guys. Today we're going to be looking at Pilates for lower back pain. So we're going to start off with a little bit of the ribcage breathing. So lying on your back, reaching your hands up to the ceiling, taking a breath, exhale, think of the ribs funneling in. Breathe in to return, and exhale, reach. Deep breath. Think of the pelvic floor drawing in and up as you're reaching the arms over your head and funneling the ribs into the waist. Lower belly pulls in. So just strengthen that lower belly by drawing in. It'll help to stabilize your pelvis. Okay, we're going to grab the TheraBand, we're going to place it behind one thigh. So we're going to do some toe taps. So tuck the elbows in, taking a breath, exhale as you reach down, lift through pelvic floor. So we want to work with a little bit of disassociation at the hips, so the pelvis won't move, but you're just arcing the thigh through space. So inhale and exhale, reach. Hi, Shaz. Now we'll do some knee stirs. So we're circling the leg around. We're really focusing on keeping the pelvis stable. So the other knee doesn't wobble around. You want to keep that nice and steady. And then back the other way. So circle down and around, breathe. Both hips nice and level. Think of that pelvic floor lifting as well. So by drawing in and up through pelvic floor, it will give you a little bit more support through the pelvis, helping to stabilize the pelvis a little bit more. And it can also help if you do have lower back pain to get that pelvic floor working a little bit more. Okay, let's do the second side. So taking the TheraBand behind your thigh, tuck the elbows, exhale, and reach. So when you're working with someone who does have lower back pain, or if you do have lower back pain yourself, you want to make sure you're not loading up that lower back. So you won't be doing half curls, you won't have both legs up in the air. You'll keep everything nice and neutral. So you won't tuck the pelvis under and roll into a bridge. So you just want to keep everything nice and steady so you're not loading up any part of the spine. And then those knee stirs. So just 6 circles in each direction. So you want to think of a smooth circle. Inhale, exhale, down and around. So if you like this video, make sure that you're sharing it with your friends and family. And let's go back the other way. And exhale, down and around. Breathe in. So really draw the tummy in. Think of that pelvic floor lifting. So if you missed the start of the session, you can always play it back later. Keep the pelvis nice and steady. Okay, we're going to let that go. We'll do a little bit more work to help stabilize the pelvis. So lying on your side, we're just going to do some sideline work. When you're working in the sideline position, you don't need to have your knees flexed too far forward because that can put stress on the lower back because it can feel tight through those hamstrings, especially if you have a bit of sciatica. Don't do your clams and oysters with the knees too far forward. Have the legs back in space a little further so the feet are in line with the sit bones. I'm going to turn the top leg in. I'm going to lift the leg up. So breathe in and exhale. So think of pelvic floor lifting, the lower belly pulling in. And that will help to strengthen and stabilize the lumbar spine. Float the leg down, and then the crab. So lift. Okay, and now we're going to turn the knee in and then toe down. So we'll go knee down and toe down. That's it. and turn, and turn. Move through the waist, keeping really steady through center. So the aim is to not let the pelvis move. So you're really working that disassociation of the hip. Okay, now let's do the second side. So we'll swing around. Oh, hi, Brooke. Nice to see you here. So we're going to squeeze your heels together and then just squeeze your knees together, float the top knee up and down. So it's a little bit like a Charleston. Scoop through center, lower belly pulls in. So most importantly for lower back pain, we really want to work to stabilise and find positions that are comfortable to be in. So side lie might be more comfortable than lying on the back. And then the clams. So float just the top knee and down. If you want to work a little hard, you can always wrap a TheraBand around your legs. And as you get stronger, then work with a long lever, so we'll stretch the knee out fully. But for a start, work with bent knees when you're doing the side line work, so it's not such a heavy load, because lower backs tend to really feel it with anything to do with weight. So even 500 grams can feel heavy if you have lower back pain. Okay, now we're going to reach the knees together and toes together. So knee and toe kisses, and toes. Keep the tummy drawn in. And keep long through the spine. So in any of the side eye work, make sure that you're not curling over through the back. You want to really keep that length. Okay, we're going to let that go and we're going to come up into a 4-point kneeling position, which is generally the best position to work in with lower back pain. So we'll do a little bit of the quadruped, so taking a breath. As you exhale, I'm going to slide the opposite arm and leg away. Keep the toe and fingers on the floor at first. So as you're stretching out, think of the opposite rib and hip coming towards each other on that diagonal line. And that will help to stabilise you through your centre. So the previous exercise to mine was the clams lying sideways. So that's a variation where we've got the knee kisses and toe kisses. So stretching out. It's kind of like a Charleston, you could even call it like Charleston leg lift sideways. Now let's lengthen out and we'll float the arm and leg up and breathe in to come back. So you're aiming to keep that back really stable as you're stretching the opposite arm and leg away. And you'll feel that you're working into those glutes at the same time as you're pressing back, because you want that nice, strong work through those glutes. So we'll also do some hovers, which really works the core. So we'll tuck those toes under, taking a breath. As you exhale, we're going to hover the knees up, breathe in to hold, out to hold, and then inhale down. And exhale and lift. Breathe in to hold, and out to hold, and down. And breathe in to hold, out to hold, and inhale down. And scoop, lift. Breathe in to hold, out to hold. So this really works the core, but you're not flexing that lumbar spine, especially if there's a disc bulge there. So you're working your abdominals and you're working towards a flat abdominal structure without feeling any compression through that lower back. And one last time, and hovering up, breathe in to hold, out to hold, and inhale down. So the best way to do push-ups is to work with a reduced lever range. So rather than working in a long plank position, we're actually doing push-ups just from the knees. And if you want to work a little harder, just send the chest between the hands. Keep the spine nice and long, so you're not going to let the shoulder blades slide around in the back. So breathe in to go down, and exhale, press. So inhale, scoop through center. So lower belly draws in as you're lengthening up. Lifting through pelvic floor. 2 more. So you can send the weight forward between the hands, so it's not just down directly in front of you. It's almost like your forehead is kissing the floor. And one last time. Okay, let's grab, if you've got a pillow or a magic circle, we'll do some adductor squeezes because you want to strengthen those inside thighs as well. So with back issues, make sure you keep the pelvis nice and neutral as you're squeezing the circle. So you're not going to tuck the pelvis under. So keep nice and neutral as you press, and then slowly release. So you can really think of that pelvic floor drawing in and up as you press, and then slowly release. Exhale, press. Hi, Sarah. And scoop, lower belly pulls in. So you really want nice, strong thighs to help support that back. 2 more. And also, if there's a little bit of an impingement, that can kind of affect the nerves that keep the muscles nice and strong. So you might find that you get muscle weakness because the nerve that innervates that particular muscle has been slightly irritated or damaged. So it's good to keep that strength there because you don't want to have a secondary injury of, say, the knees feeling weaker and then malaligning and having knee pain. One last press and exhale. So when you're working with people with lower back pain, it's nice to do exercises that you might do sitting, do them lying down because sitting increases a lot more load through the spine. We're just going to do one last set of the side line. So I'm going to do some circles with the short lever and then a long lever. So you're going to float the leg up, breathe in, and exhale, press, work through your centre. So it's really tricky in this one not to let the back arch. So you want to stay nice and steady through the core. So you can have your head up in this position, but sometimes it's actually better to have the head down so that you're keeping that whole spine nice and long. And back the other way. So press back. Keep one hip on top of the other. And then we'll do the circles with the straight leg. So make sure when you're doing any of the sideline legs, if you are working with the straight leg, don't reach the leg too far forward in space, because overstretching those hamstrings, especially, or even just stretching the hamstrings, especially if you have a little bit of sciatica, will make that sciatica feel much, much worse. So avoid hamstring stretches with lower back pain. And back the other way with those circles. Keep reaching the leg long and really focus on that pelvis staying nice and steady. Okay, and let's do the second side. So the circles, so you will lift the leg up, circle around. So really stable through centre. Work into those glutes. And back the other way. And make sure the knees aren't too flexed at the front, because you want that spine to be nice and neutral. So whatever position that you're working in, really think of length through the spine, and that will take pressure off those intervertebral discs the more you lengthen. And then we'll do a few of the leg circles, so nice and long. Keep it small, so you're resisting stretching the leg forward into a hamstring stretch. And back the other way. So keep reaching that leg along. Okay, we'll just do a little quad stretch here. So bend the knee, tucking that pelvis under. So we're really trying to open the space at the front of the hip. So especially we want to stretch out that rectus femoris, because that's the one part of the quadricep that crosses over the hip and the knee. So if that's tight, that can kind of pull the pelvis more into that anterior tilt along with the psoas. So we want to stretch that out, and that can sometimes help to relieve a little bit of back pain. But we want to avoid stretching those hamstrings. And even sometimes glute stretches can feel too strong for people with a little bit of sciatica. Okay, and let's do the second side. Hard down and stretch. So drop the tail down, stay long. So without tucking that pelvis under so much, do you want to find that stretch, staying as neutral as possible and nice and long through the spine. And lying down, doing a workout lying down is nice for lower back pain because it takes pressure off the spine. So when you think of standing, that's going to be a lot more loading through the spine, even just to stand. And then sitting is more loading again. So lying down is great for lower back pain, which is why Pilates is so awesome. It can take a lot of pressure off the back while still strengthening the muscles to help stabilise and strengthen the core. Alright, and that's about it for today. So thanks guys so much for watching this session and being part of it. If you've got any questions or comments, you can always email me or send me a message through Facebook. Next week, our session is going to be on finding better balance through Pilates, which is awesome for, especially if you're getting older, like great for preventing falls. So yeah, so that's what we'll be working on next week. Thank you so much for watching. And if you need to email me, my email is louise@torbpilates.com. And I look forward to seeing you next week at 1:30 for our 4th live session. Okay, thanks. Bye.